Good evening and welcome. So, Monday? Yes, I feel it's Tuesday, but that's not the case just yet. Ah, I I am feeling this is the last episode of Techtonica. Um, I think we've done all we can do in the game and given it more than its fair share of coverage, and it's time to probably move on to other things in the coming weeks. So that's the plan for now. Let me just also look at the schedule. So next week, or the week we're in starting now, ends on the 6th of July, and then the week after is where the 11th. Okay. Yeah, so there won't really be a big gap between ending Techtonica and starting up Desynced, because Desynced is going to be the next indie factory game that's going to take a lot of focus for us. So that should be on the agenda afterwards. In between that, I am thinking we have on the 10th we have the new the next episode of The Expanse. We'll play it. We bought it. We want to play it, and but then I'll just also schedule some other things at the same time so we can fill up the schedule with that. And then of course we're continuing Satisfactory. There's lots and lots of stuff to do in Satisfactory. And then on Friday, which was previously planned as a Techtonica stream, is going to hello Chris, is actually replanned as a StarCraft stream. So StarCraft, yes, I want to play some single player StarCraft mission, like all the way from the beginning, from the humble beginnings on Marsara as crafts? StarCraft. Yes, crafts. It's a kind of craft. It's crafting stars. I love that game. Yep, and we're gonna replaying it. Just playing the mission, the campaign, and just playing all the Terran mission, all the Zerg mission, all the Protoss mission, and then into the Brood War. And if we keep having fun, then we're just gonna go on from there. And that's gonna be sort of like maybe a couple of streams. We'll do that. I think that's gonna be fun. And then, of course, the big thing this week is Wednesday. So you gotta cancel your plans till Wednesday. I have a special preview event of Shapes 2. So if you remember Shapes, it's now a new game. It's a new game coming out next year sometime, and it's a very, very early preview. So think about like that thing, right? Remember we saw Foundry last fall, and it's not really released yet, or that's August, so it's kind of a year ago. Same with Tectonic, we saw it a year ago, and then how it evolved over the years. So we'll get an early sneak peek, and the condition for me to get access to it is that there will be no VOD available afterwards. So you basically have to show up for the live stream, because you can't just watch the VOD afterwards. It's a little annoying, but that's kind of, and I understand the condition. And normally, I don't know. I don't know if what I would say generally if someone, I totally understand it from a small developer perspective. It's a little bit annoying for me, but it's mainly annoying for you. But let's see. If I like it, I might ask if I'm allowed to sort of do a showcase of what it's like, and with the ample disclaimer about, oh, this is early access, so don't expect these things, or these are all subject to change and all that stuff, right? Maybe I can do that for YouTube afterwards if that makes sense. If we like it, if we sort of have a positive experience, and I feel that there's enough content to do like a little showcase, and of course if Tobias allows it. So that's the big thing, the big new thing this week. As I'm just enjoying ourselves with the games that are around, taking Thursday off, and Saturday is probably taking a day off as well, or maybe more StarCraft. Who knows indeed. So that is definitely the plan for now. Right. And of course, if there are any other things that we want to do, or if we want to try and test and play, then by all means, let me know. There's a little bit scarce on content for YouTube, because Satisfactory videos are not performing very well, and Techtonica videos, there's kind of one more left, probably. maybe 2, but 1. And then the question is like, oh, when is the next thing? Well, the next thing is going to be the desync when that comes around. So that's it's going to be just a little bit of a gap between ending this and starting the next. But you know, I'll just take a day off then and suffer the consequences on YouTube. I think I hope you'll stick around and stay with me. I'm thinking that all the programs we make for desync is they're also going to be some shared somewhere. No idea where, but we'll do that. And I would also imagine that would be an incentive for pledging on Patreon, is just getting access to save games, including all the programs. Because then you can just snatch the programs and put them in your own game when you get access to it. I think that's gonna be like we do for Satisfactory, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's a good balance. Oh, I don't know. I'm yawning like 7 times to your stream. You need to help me stay awake, or maybe it's because I haven't opened my my evening drink. Sponsored by, although it's not. Should be though. Yeah. I don't know how many times I bought Brood War. I have no idea. A lot. And StarCraft. I mean, my first copy of it was a pirated version, and then I bought it, and then I bought it again, and then I bought it again. Every time you move, you go, I must have it. So I paid for that one a fair share of times. So yeah, good evening, Sir Conrad. How's work progressing on your thesis/dissertation? And are there any good suggestions for videos? I haven't gotten any good gaming suggestions lately. Well, except that, what was the game? Oh, the Icarus expansion. Everything is broken. Ah, what? Okay. Well, including your spirit, I guess. Yeah, just checking if there are any other games that we haven't missed out. But Icarus on the 24th is actually going to be really good, because even though Armored Core is coming on the 25th, then I don't think that it is. I don't know how good of a game it's going to be. It feels very small. Making slides for the groups meeting, all in pink and black, and see how long I can go until my PI says something. Sounds good. Pink and black sounds good. It's very Barbie and reference. Okay, Barbie and Oppenheimer. I was thinking like it's a good color scheme for a fetish party. That was my initial go-to. But okay, Barbie and Oppenheimer. That's also, I mean, that would also be like a good couple's dress up for a fetish party, coming as I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. And Barbie. Wrapped in plastic. How much playtime do you have in Techtonica? 79.1 hours. And when will you start playing? Not anytime soon. Thank you for asking. I'll start playing whenever the hell I feel like it. It's usually a bit after 8, but I always just sit and chat and warm up before. And anytime anyone adds stuff like that, then I always add a little more. No good film starts with detailed PowerPoint planning session. I don't know. I was looking at a manifest, a fetish fashion party in Copenhagen, because I have some friends going, and I was like, all right, well, like sounds like some fun things going on. And then I looked at it, and there was like 3 pages of just dress code restrictions. Like, am I allowed to wear? No, this is considered ordinary clothing. You will be banned. And there's like a strict dress code, and there's a strict dress code enforcement. So you get there and you get like, if you have any cotton or anything like that, go back. If you have any clothing at all that could be conceived as normal clothing, you don't get in. It's that simple. It has to be fetish clothing, and I'm just not into that. So ugh. I don't mind a dress up party, but I don't like fascist rules for a dress up. And I go like, well, kind of, ugh. Does a fursuit count? Fursuit is, I'm sure that's okay. I am very sure that's okay. Though what you mainly see is just furry masks. I know what I'm doing then. Yeah. Last thing I went to, there were quite a surprising number of nude guys with dog masks being walked around the conference center in leashes. And I was like, okay, well, and they're just behaving like dogs. And okay, well, that's a thing as well. Not a furry thing, but it's a thing. Fetish for normal clothing, then you don't get in. Then you don't get in. It's that simple. You can't rationalize. You can't just justify. You can't being ironic, and everything is like, nope. And anything that's a normal uniform or something like that. They even said like, what if you wear an SS uniform? And they go like, well, that's a parade uniform, so you're allowed to use it, but be prepared that people will respond aggressively towards it. So your choice. Yeah. So, which I think is a fair warning. And it probably, well, I mean, there's always someone who wants to provoke. So, factories, you say? Yes, factories. Techtonica, yeah. Let's get back on track. How did you get me sidetracked so easily? You do that. So, for Techtonica, we have one thing left. Technically two things, but I wanted to focus on one thing. And that is the whole producing resources from from plants. So that means we have to stay strong, stay vigilant, persevere against all trials and tribulations, and all that manifests in a form of the goddamn thresher. I fucking hate the thresher. There we go. Zen, calm. You're at peace. It will not hurt you. The thresher will not hurt. Well, I mean, I think it will hurt you. Yeah, let's go. There. Does it affect a satisfactory character? Nope, it's workwear. So that would be a no. Anything that can be considered workwear is new. I saw Tina's making out under the bleachers in the last video. They were down by the limestone deposit. Yeah, they always hang out by the limestone deposit. That's their hangout. Lovers Lane. Yep. Did we switch over to the right view? Yeah, we did. Yeah. There. That's what you would expect to see under the bleachers at in the factory. All right. It's Jerry Springer. Can it be both? So, come on, load, damn you. It feels a little bit weird that we have the new bus, but we still also have the old bus, which means it's kind of tempting just to go back and get stuff at the old bus. Ooh, it's the last day of the month as well. So, and let's see, where did what go? Who did what, why, where? Okay, this one was the one we freed up last time, and I don't think that's particularly interesting. I want to go somewhere else and just make a dedicated location, just get some space. It doesn't need to have any resource. Actually, preferably doesn't have any resources nearby. It just is. So there we go. Why? Oh, it's not the right one. Damn. This is the one I used for loading. This is the end of the last stream. Yes. 4517. Yes, so that one. Because we did have already completed the mission. The final mission. So, back to the loading screen again. And the threshers are just not friendly, I guess. And where would be a good place to build? It has to be far away from any sort of structure, I guess. There we go. So, loaded. I don't want to build it this way because you never know. Could be over here, but there are also sort of some stuff. It could be like in the middle here. Then I just have to go a little bit up, I guess. Yeah, let's can this be removed? Yeah, it can. Anyway, this seems like a good place, right? It's right above the middle section, so if we could make it just like this. Is there anything that you feel that we are still missing in to cover in oh, okay. Oh. In Techtonica, like things are like, oh, we haven't really explored that. Because I'm feeling that we pretty much have done everything we want. Scan. Or any other games that you'd like for us to cover while we are sort of have a few days here. It's also weird, like from a perspective of, I really love to see the sales graph for games, because it just seems like the first 2 weeks, that's when all the sales are there, and then after that, nope. Isn't an update supposed to be coming soon? Yeah, but it's not going to be. I can't imagine it's going to be a big update. I mean, they are working on quality of life, so would I replay the game because there are now ratios? No. And that's probably stuff like that. Stuff like ratios and save game naming and maybe some graphical stuff. Like, I don't know. It's probably not going to be like, hey, here's 10 new machines and 2 new tech levels and stuff like that. I don't think that would be the reason for us to return and replay or continue to play. And I think this one has like one of the best progressions you can imagine. Like the idea of just like we have an area for this space and we can play as much as we want, and then there's some kind of mechanic about the elevator to a higher level, which means you can go up and then there's something else there. Is that something I haven't scanned? Huh. Okay, just electrical component. And then maybe there's a new biome, there's a new station, there's new things that can maybe bring some stuff along from the old base, but maybe only a limited amount. So it just has like this really good progression that you don't start over, but on the other hand, you don't sort of just get stuck in game all the time. So, or like for example in Satisfactory, it's just like how can you make progression? If they want to add more, then it's just going to be like, oh, now they add level 9 and 10. And we're like, but do we really need 9 and 10? No, not really. Like, isn't really anything about in Satisfactory that we really need more machines doing very marginal things. But it kind of, there's no other way to do progression in Satisfactory because you have the base. And now it's producing all the stuff you want for mainly things, and then that's you get all the iron and steel and heavy modular frames and computers you need after a while. So how do you How do you progress? What do you think of the swarm on Dyson Sphere? The dark fog? I think that looks amazing. I think it's gonna be, and it's gonna be one of those things where, when we play it like this, when we get it, we'll be like, how is the previous game fun? Like, how could we play that without it? Like, I'm sure we get that kind of feeling. This, like, Factorio without biters, sure you can do that, but Factorio with biters actually give you that kind of sense of, okay, you can't just hang around because there is kind of a clock on things and you have to manage it, and it doesn't have to be difficult, but it just means that you can't just leave it running for the night. Of course you can, but generally as a new player, you can't just ignore that and take your time. You have to sort of think about some externalities that puts pressure on you, and I think that's pretty essential. Like, there isn't anything in Techtonica either, and that's why we can sit here and just clean these out. There isn't anything like, okay, when we do too much, it might cave in and there might be earthquakes or biters might spawn or whatever. There's no external pressure, which means it becomes more and more of a sandbox game. Dyson Sphere doesn't feel like a sandbox game, but Techtonica absolutely feels like a sandbox game. So, I think we have soon-ish enough time, enough space. Build better, quicker, yes. Kind of have to. Good, so we need to clear this area. This is basically the area I want to clear, which is almost there. And we just pave it over and then use it as our testing grounds. Piece, yeah. And we're 63,000 limestone. Yay! Well, this is all about getting limestone to resources. So yeah, having a million limestone is probably a good starting point. There you go. Oh, not enough resources. Here we go. And then I have to delete one to get all of them dots back again. And let's put some lighting here and there just to be able to see what's going on. Yeah, and we don't really know how this is going to be positioned or placements and all that stuff yet, but right, we have some space, we have some light, we are ready to go. First things first is I need a little bit of iron. Do we have any iron nearby? Because that's the stuff we're going to start by making, some iron, and we have some iron over here, so let's go there. Do I have some... Do I have miners? No? No miners? No? Well, that sucks. Let's go back. And there we go. I'm also noticing that I have a lot of other stuff. Yeah, Dyson Sphere is going to be excellent when it comes out, but I have no idea when. I'd expect before the end of the year, but I don't know. Let's get a few of these back again. Yeah. What? There's more? Shit.
A generous bestowal.
Well, hello there, Srund. Thank you. Thank you for the bus examples you've shown us. It was a massive help when it came up with my own version loosely based on yours. Perfect. How did you improve the setup that I did? Because I'm imagining that whatever you did was an improvement. It would be weird to copy my stuff and not make it better. Or get inspired by it. Alright, we should have enough of various sorts of things. I have some of these miners that I want to get rid of and some of those that I want to get rid of. Yeah. And some miners. Do I have some of this? Some threshers? Nope. Some miners? Yep. Some miners here? Sure. Some... Oh, we don't have the good threshers. That's kind of important. Kind of irrelevant if we do not have it. And over here. We also... What? Oh, right. That's something I fixed for my my YouTube episode, but not in this one. Damn. So this has to be... This one goes out and becomes something else. This will be that one. And you will be... And now I just dropped off all of my concrete. I'm making it 2 floors. First for the intermediates and second for the end items. For example, for each intermediate. Yeah. I think that most of the time it's just going to be idle anyway, so didn't feel that it was particularly necessary to get more. Yeah. It would be nice with a better movement speed, but... Transportation, we got all that we can do. 145. 145, that's all we get. And here. So. This is going to go backwards. Because that's going to have all of this. And then it's going to get... Let's take this out. Yeah, those are not relevant, so take them out. Here, this one, not relevant, take it out. And this one, not relevant. And then go back here. Light here, and let's see, so that's Atlantum and the processing unit. Okay, Atlantum processing units. Oh, just inbound. Yeah, get it from the other one, and then this one will only need one thing, and that will be the copper widgets, gizmos, things. That one. And this will just make miners. And they'll come over here. And that should make... Yes. All good. Alright, that was the final part of the puzzle here. And that's the Smelters, yes. But we also have the miners. We just need to mine a little bit. Yep, good. Left lamp in a box. Left lamp in a box. Yeah, good. That would cause issues. That was the one that was in the assembler, so it'll come. Bleachy brush is sweet. Thank you. Especially the name. Oh, I just went back here and I did not pick up the stuff that I essentially missed. Yep. All the way to start. Bleachers. Yep. Like, what? I knew that it would be an uncommon word to some, but then you can see that it's a boss and just be filled with happiness and delight. I'm thinking you need to go in here. Yeah, thought so. That'd be a good place to ditch you. So, up here and fight with the threshers. Let's see. How is this going to start? I'm going to start it over from this side. First. It's going to start with some... Okay, threshers go into 8. Planters into 9. Fine. Good. So it's going to start with some of these. And I don't know how many it takes to get to fill up. This is the first issue, right? We don't know how many it takes. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking 6. And that will be from here. Maybe before I start making sort of elaborate designs here, just kind of talk our way through what we want. Oh, I don't actually have a lot of these. That one. So we're going to get some Stranglethorn. What is it? Shiverthorn? No. Kindlevine. Kindlevine. In here. The Kindlevine will be collected and go into a thresher of threshiness. And then from that, we are going to thresh it here. And that'll be 1 in. That goes out. We will only get the seeds back out. Good. And here we are going to process whatever there is, and that will go out into 2 items. It'll go out into Kindlesticks. Yes, so Kindlesticks will be the output. That will be on this belt, which will be sort of following down here. Let's make it 3 apart, or 3 between here. I don't imagine this is going to be at ground level. So I'm just going to make this, and then out, in. I'm just going to make it for 1 location and just get a sense of it. High-speed thresher output sorting is the most challenging bit. Yes, it's just bad because, yeah. So the 2 options we have for output is we can use filtered output and then control it on belts, or we can use stack output because then we can empty all of it, but then we have the problem of mixed belts, and then I need to deal with the belts afterwards. I think that I might actually want to try the opposite because I've not had much luck with the first one. So if we can just try to... Now we also have stack inserters just continuously built, so we can just do stuff like this and go, fine, you're now out on the belt. And then the next issue is how do we get it off the belt? Would be like hey, let's get some of these things and some of these things, but that's obviously not enough. But that, yeah, then this wouldn't even be worth it. It would have to sort of be like long filtered lanes like this, because you'd need a lot of filter inserters to compensate for their slowness. And this is the kind of stuff that just feels so awful, right? Yeah. You're not getting anything in? Why not? Ready to harvest. Oh, because someone forgot to put these things on. The second one definitely works, but my plan, yeah, but you don't have enough filter inserters, so that's kind of it right now. That obviously won't be outputting here. We have no idea how many it needs. We have no idea about anything here. Let's just take that out. Good. So let's think about it. What is it we have? We have the Kindle vine thing, extract thing, this one, right? And that can be made into limestone. So that's going to be our main source of stuff. So we need to figure out how many smelters we need. Oh, actually, it's smelters. Nice. Smelters can then be in... Didn't even think we would need smelters, but perfect. And this is an electric smelter, I think. No, it still needs fuel. That sucks. Huh. What infused limestone is used for? That's literally what we're going to do today. That is, you just entered the right place and time. And then these have to be filtered, otherwise they will actually take the wrong things in. So this will be Kindle vine. Kindle vine. And then I'm going to have an output. And then an input of fuel. How do we still need fuel? So the fuel I need to just bring in from a box, because that can't be something I'm going to need a lot of. And we have a silly, silly amount of that. So let me go back and get some fuel so we never have to worry about that anymore. Oh, when we get back to our bus, it does get a little bit stuttery. Get all that. I think that should be enough fuel for us. Okay, you can see how much these have actually pushed in. So yeah, it does wear out, but not quickly. There you go. Saving off on watching many of these till I get playing the actual game, but damn, you must really be liking it, how much you played it. I don't know. I like it, sure. It's a factory game. There aren't that many of them, so of course I tend to give it good coverage. There. So this is the whole point. And then we can't know a damn thing about ratios here, which is the hard part about this. about everything. Like, how long does it take to process the various things? And also, like, with speed buffs and, oh man, that's just, yeah. So, yeah, I think this is the correct way. Sucks, doesn't it? Really sucks, because either I put everything on this belt and then this belt is going to be constrained super fast. Maybe it's more important first to figure out what the belt capacity is. Like, how many of these do we need for a full belt? Mm-hmm. So I think I need to establish that first, because this has to be a ratio thing. Okay, I don't know if it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 to make a belt full of crap. Okay, so that definitely will be emptying fast enough. You don't have anything. Okay, so one. Oh, the insanity. One thresher fills a belt. Why are these not going in? Isn't that weird? Oh, because they are now idiots. So they are stuck waiting for something else. That is an awful implementation. Wow. Because this will forever be stuck. That's really bad. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, this is not coming in because, yeah. So I actually have a little bit of chance to empty. Woo! So now the other part of it, it blows my mind, the fact that it's a full belt is filled up like this. Yeah, this is also too fast, or more accurately, these are just way too slow. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. It is so infuriating, this, to build factory. It's unbelievable how infuriating it is to build factories in a factory game like this. It's crazy. And again, I don't have any idea if this is the right number. And so I'd like to see that none of these pass by, but they do. Can this one keep up? Barely. It obviously can't keep up on the outside either. It is Thimble Code Writer. Thank you. What we urgently need in game is something to deal with overflows. What we urgently need in game is a balancing. We need to be able to see ratios. We need to be able to control how belts work. We need to have way faster inserters and way faster belts. There, that's it. Loafkeeper, thank you for the 14 months.
Welcome.
Hey man, it's my anniversary every time I open the stream. Really? Anyways, I picked up the game after watching a YouTube video. Love it so far. It's a mix of factory and satisfactory. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you, Quiz, for the 16 months. Good evening. Happy to see Shapes tomorrow. Yes, not tomorrow though, but the day after tomorrow. It's on Wednesday. It's only Monday today. So it's going to be one of these, 2x of these. But the fact that I cannot even keep these going with the fastest inserters I have available is just absolutely atrocious. Like, in what world do you design things so that you have a building that cannot be supplied like this? Why? It blows my mind. And like, see them all blinking all the time because they can't be put in is disgusting. Yeah, sorry, but that's just how I feel. I think it's pretty damn uncool that this is how it's designed. And I also have to throw some shade on the alpha testers. How the fuck did you let this pass? How did you let this pass all the way through? It like, how can you be building factories and go like, this is great, all of this is perfect, give me more of it? It's I don't know. I mean, we can get things done, but it's just some really basic things that are out of whack. And I think that maybe some of it is because sorry. Oh, sorry. Some of it is because of, let's see, the tech synthesis here. Bidens. This one, no, smelting speed. This one gets up to 140% smelting speed, and then under science, we also have this increase the speed of all assemblers by 0.05 for every core cluster, and I have a lot of core clusters, like a lot. So this would be 200 core clusters. I think it's divided by 5. So 200 core clusters, that means 200 times 0.05%. That's 100% speed. Thank you. Testers, not even developers. No, I don't know what kind of feedback, but I'm also just, when And they have changed the ratios significantly. And maybe this core boost is something that was added relatively lately. Or maybe it's not supposed to be sitting at 1,000 blue, but why not? But this gives me plus 100% speed. And the only thing that's missing, you can see I get smelting faster, mining faster, threshing faster, power, and assemblers. You see what's missing? Belts and inserters. So all of these contribute to the part that you just screw yourself over, making it impossible to keep up with inserters. And then you can go like, well, then don't use that. But I think that's a little bit sort of if you have upgrades that inevitably makes it harder to play the game and not easier, then maybe you should get some upgrades for the last things. Cool. There. And then we need to figure out, so what can we do with this thing here? I can just make it in plant matter into some of this and just be done with it, right? This game isn't Linux proof. Do you have to design the core clusters in certain boosts? No, you don't. The cluster as it is now, as I understand it from some kind of a message the developer said, was that it isn't, there's no UI for it. It just says like, take this number divided by 5, take this number divided by 10. That's the number of clusters. And then it's automatically applied to all of these, which means that perhaps right now there are too big boosters and things are just, all machines are too fast, which accentuates, which in effect, like, okay, so here's maybe a thought process. The developers go like, oh, well, we don't have time to do this UI and this part and testing it, or there's something where we remove it. So let's just be generous and give the players faster. Like, they just get it faster. And because, hey, who's going to complain about having faster threshers? Someone building at ratio, right? Burn the sticks and smelters. Is that an option? That's a surprisingly interesting thought. Although it's guaranteed to not be at ratio. I like it. I like the idea of this. Because then I could actually just do... No, I couldn't. When it doesn't get anything in. The other one should still only be taking that, and then... I don't know. But then this fuel is lasting too long, so I still need to make sure that this belt flows if it goes somewhere. I like this idea, and I'd like to try it, because it could alleviate some of it, because I'm not going to use the rest of it for anything else. I still just need at the end just to consume the rest. No. Because I can't have it be stuck. It might actually be slow up, but now at this point, oops, I also want to make sure that I don't end up in a situation yeah, I want to make sure that I consume everything here. So there you go. So that picks up these. That's good. And just waiting. So it should never do that. It should never allow these to move past. So now this one is getting stuck. Until all of this is burned out. And then it works really, really slow because there's only one inserter. Oh my god, it. Any starter design tips for trying to think for a pyramid structure in Satisfactory? Like the one I have, tab every single concrete location in sight. Yeah, this is not working. I had to start the alphabet by sorting it into 2 belts. Yeah. Fuck. I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. It just seems so wrong to do. Because then I'm gonna say all of these are outputting whatever's in here. It can't even keep up, not even close. Actually a significant amount that still passes through. Dedicated filter setup, mass pull everything from the thresher, then build a setup that filter from the box. That's gonna be kind of the next thing we have to do because this is not working. The other alternative would be something. I'm actually now curious about whether it would be possible to. Yeah, but again, it doesn't work because this is not going to be filtering fast enough. Like, again, we have. Oh, because for fuck's sake, you can't put anything into a box because of this thresher. Oh my god, this thresher is killing me. I hate the thresher so much. How can one machine ruin the entire experience of the game? I hate it so much. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable how much I hate it. Unreal. Yeah, well, so this is definitely not working. Because if it doesn't put in the right thing, then maybe it actually is working. But now the question, not the question, but the problem is, I only have 6 spaces left. That's not enough. So simply put, I cannot empty this. Like this, right? And that just won't work. That, and that. And the other one is... This is just for making sure that I am correct about this assumption. There. And then the question is, does it go up or down? About 200, 200. It's definitely going down. Yeah, chain boxes. What do you think about Neo's Path of Exile? I played it a little bit and I got like wrist damage instantly, so that's a hard no. All right, we take a save, and then we're gonna come back. Ideas for how to solve this in a non-stupid way are very welcome. Here's another thing, that even if we did this, we're still not unloading fast enough here. That's crazy, right? So define stupid. Well, you can suggest, and then I'll define stupid based on your suggestions. All right, be back in 2 minutes. All right, I am back again. Thank you for the patience. Took a little bit longer. Is having 6 stack inserters output into 3 belts. Then a massive line of filter inserters pulling from those 3 belts onto belts which dump their filtered items into a single box. I think that's kind of I like that idea, right? No, I don't, but I can tolerate that idea, I guess. I think that's the only option, and it still has like a structured feel to it. This one definitely has increased, so this can't keep up. Like if I could go directly into belts, I absolutely would. But alas, that is not the case, so we'll have to do something else. Yeah. And I think 2 belts should be enough. There has to be room between them, so this is not good. So, how many of these absolutely atrocious things do we have to have? Maybe that's where we wanted to go out instead. I mean, this one is a little bit one-dimensional in its efficacy. I hate this. Oh my god, I hate it. Ah, I hate fighting against the mechanics of a game. The mechanics of a game should not be your biggest enemy. Like, give me biters, aliens, zombies, not core game mechanics. I don't want to fight against game mechanics. Holy shit, that's not something I want to do. Wow. Insiders on top of each other, that doesn't work. I mean, you can place them, but they don't get powered, so... Like, this is useless because you can't power them. How you played DSP? No, definitely DSP is definitely not it. Then Arcane, let me be very blunt with it. If you have problems with the mechanics of Dyson Sphere, you're doing it wrong. Dyson Sphere is the most elegant game, the best factory builder game. Like, put some inserters, and you got whole thing. You want a smelting line, you just drag it, you tap to adjust the size, that's it. Oh man, everything about Dyson Sphere is so crisp. Yeah, but this is kind of also what I'm... Ratios and design, they are so easy. They're so easy. They're so clean and crisp, and there are a few things. Even with, like, then take a look at some of my builds. Then you will see how clean and crisp they can be. I had to place everything one by one. Yes, which was rough. I just can't do this. I cannot do this. This is unbelievable. It has to be. It has to happen. But I just fucking hate it. I just hate it so much. It's unbelievable. I promised myself I wouldn't hate on it, but fucking hell. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Alright, so I'm going to do this because it gets a little bit easier to get these belts out. I'm sure, I know that at the end we'll have something and it'll be fine. Can't you filter outbound to a clean balance? No, because it's too fast. This is so fast that even if I surround it with filter inserters, it's not going to keep up. That's the ridiculousness of it. I mean, then there is another perspective, is just to say, okay, it's not fast enough. But does it matter that it's not fast enough? If this thresher is only running at, I don't know, 70% of what it could run, is that really a problem? Maybe not. It does matter if you need the second item, unfortunately. Why would it matter if you need the second item? No, it won't, because with filter inserters, you filter the insert with, you filter it, and they're coming out at the same speed. So it doesn't matter. They will always be even. The second stack will fill up. Second stack, there's no second stack. If I use filter inserters, they will output at exactly the same rate as long as I have the same amount of inserters going to each belt. Then I just have to make sure that the belts are never stuck. I think we'll try this. Let's try it, and then just accept that it's not going to be utilized at maximum rate, because this one is not maximum rate anyway, because it only goes into one. So maybe it'll just be like, yeah. This is the output, and this one also has to make sure that it keeps flowing. That will be our fuel, and then here, and that one, and then I just need to copy paste it. What is that? 5. I'm gonna go with 6 for no reason, just feels right. Yeah. But that's also something they said there, it's coming, so. Right, I want to make sure that as it starts flowing, it will work, right? So I'm gonna get filter out. I have to figure out how big this has to be and then work from there. And this will be... So this should probably be empty because everything gets consumed. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. This one should be empty because that's the stuff that doesn't get caught up in here. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Oh, that's a disaster. So I want these out first. Stack filter inserters, please. Don't even know what that is. There. That is so ridiculously far from being useful. That is unbelievably far from useful. Like, not even one of them is working, and previously we could have like 5, 6 of them working. Yeah, so 2 of them can definitely easily take everything that comes in. Huh. There's nothing to improve the outserter. If you look at the existing structures in the world, like the warehouses, they have massive lines of filters inputting into the boxes. Yeah, well, they kind of have to. They're also made by a creator. Yeah, we're definitely just missing some absolutely essential stuff. Yeah, this is look at how rarely it actually moves. That's a very, very high idle percentage. Very high. So this is like, by doing it this way, I'm cutting it down to like 30% productivity. Nothing has passed through. Good. But on the other hand, by doing it this way, I'm trying to be positive. I could rotate this section here and then just have 2 of those and rotate it so that it builds out and it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then at the end of it, I would have limestone coming out and this one coming out. Yeah. Which is actually a really nice byproduct because this is something we always need more of. So, yeah. I think this is... Then I basically take all of this out. This is completely useless. More threshers, yes. More builds, right? That's what we want. Because we're now reducing it to this output, like this minuscule output, which can then be combined for many more builds. Cool, so now I just need to copy, rotate, paste. How do I do that? The manual way. Or you could go with the hater alternative. That will at least work. I don't think it works as well as you think it works because you're still gonna have the issue of first put everything on a belt or 2 belts. Then both of those belts have to be filtered out into other belts. That means I now have 6 belts, 2 sushi belts and 4 alternate belts. And those 4 alternate belts now have to be put into boxes. Those have to be put into back onto belts. So like, I mean, it's just too many steps. That's just gonna be like a giant spaghetti farm or a bowl of spaghetti, and yeah. So I don't think it's like, oh, you could just use that. I don't think that's an option. Oops. That is definitely not what I want. Okay, so we try again. And ultimately, I'm sure that what we come up with is actually going to be, oh, that's actually pretty neat. Nope, that's too close. And then just need 2 of these. It's not really very much. And then these are the 2 final outputs. Turn them around. Now I'll have to figure out how to do that. Stack inserts into box, filter inserts from boxes. 2, 3. You don't need a 3rd belt. If you have the right amount of filter inserters, the first belt will be pure. Not sure I understand that. And I absolutely do not trust this game. So relying on, oh yeah, things at ratio and works, and as long as everything gets consumed all the time, then it'll be fine. Then it's not going to be fine. Good. And then this is basically just replicated, right? Because then all I need to do now is figure out where I want to bring it. So I think I'm going to bring it, this one. It's going to be brought back to a box. And then we'll just kind of deal with this box of boxiness afterwards. You have to go. And then goes out. This goes out. Something like this. Again, this is, as all things in the world, temporary. This too shall pass. It's rather spady and not smaller. Just uses your... The filter way is rather spade. I don't feel this is spade. I feel this is a pretty clean setup. Like, there's one going in here, you control the stuff on this side, control stuff on that side, and then you bring it back into 2 boxes on 2 filtered lines. This is good. But I understand that it's the other part is a bigger build, and it wouldn't sort of scale, but this one actually scales rather nicely, I'd say. I think we'll leave it here. No. Here, that's better. So that goes out. Yeah, that's not it. There we go. This is one that I can explain why it's like this, and just kind of make it make sense for people watching and wanting to build it yourself. Then I can build one module, and then I can say, and now you just repeat ad nauseum. So I said that eventually we'll find something we're somewhat happy with, and I think this is going to be somewhat happy. Right. I wouldn't call this spaghetti. This is my kind of factory. This is modular and straight lines. Somewhat happiness. Yeah, I mean, it's the pit of despair. Like you have to sort of go down into the pit of despair and then climb your way out of it. Tolerable. Wow, that's a high bar you're setting here. If this is only tolerable, remember what game we're playing here. This is not Factorio, is or Satisfactory or Dyson Sphere. This is a game that is kind of being a bit hard on us. That's not really not where I want to put that light. I actually kind of want to put it here. Because then it's aligned on the other one. Yeah. So what do you guys think? Is that tolerable? Is it okay? Is it good? Is it, oh my god, it's the best thing I've ever seen. Then you need to get your eyes checked if that's the case. For this style of the factory over, throw everything on a belt style. Yes, because the throw everything on a belt style is also really just really accentuating the limitation of the game. This one is you can convince yourself that you'd wanted to build it like this. It wasn't out of necessity. It was because you wanted to have a nice modular build here. But the other one is very much a just throwing in the face of developers like, I have to build it like this because you don't give me proper tools. So this is sort of a more positive spin on a design of going like, with the limitations of the game as it is right now, this is the best that I can come up with. I much rather want that perspective. And ultimately you can also say like, hey, look, we've managed to find something, so all the aggression was irrelevant anyway, because hey, clearly in the end you find something that's gonna kind of work. I think this is better. Yeah, I think 4 is the right number. You could flip the second. No, I don't want to do that. That's not how I do things. Flip the second line there. Then I'd lose my symmetry, or I'll get it a mirrored symmetry instead of just a modular symmetry. And I prefer my modular symmetries. Ran out of smelters. Here. So let's see how many you built for us. Enough. But hey, look at this. This is only to make the first step. This is not even the stuff that was interesting for us to build. This was just the first step of getting a reliable production of limestone. Something as trivial as limestone is now our... This is what we've done. And we get some plant matter, which can always be used for plant matter fiber, for example. Oh, that was not it. This one has to go up. And it also builds relatively quickly. It's not super advanced in terms of build, like over and unders and stuff like that. It's just get stuff in. Yeah, I like this. Okay, and let's get these first. Kindle plant matter. Copy paste would be nice for these things as well. I'm sure that's coming at some point. Did you set filter conditions? Yes? Best thing I've ever seen. Well, Mekumaki, get your eyes checked. Or watch more factory games. Oops. That's my... Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. So all I need to get this going is a little bit of love. What about you? Oh, ready to harvest because you can't output. Let's get a few more in here. Just so that we'll get something going here. Yeah. And now we get... Actually, do I want one more than one? 21, 22. Okay, so it just needs one inserter each. Then we definitely need more. Let's have a look at how much is coming back. The one that's going to fill up fastest is the farm, this one, that one. Yeah, this can't really be filling up much more than this, to be honest, because that's looking like a pretty full belt. So we have a massive filter system just to get reasonable uptime per machine, almost spiteful to build a system that refuses to use the speed of the upgraded machines. The first. Because you can look at it. This way I can just, like, that one's not working at ratio. These ones are not working at ratio. But this kind of thing here is kind of working at ratio. Yes, so this is actually too much for one belt. Oh, that kind of makes me think that I need to do something else instead. I'm thinking I should switch what's up and down, and then I could... Yeah. Either make it into plant matter or make it into plant matter frame. 6-to-1. How fast is it? So is there a way that we could take, like, in here? Like, maybe push it out a bit and then... It's not really working. It would need to be a completely different design. Don't say that. Alternatively, like, take it out here. The issue with this is that it's I can't pick these up fast enough. Because I would have to pick them up with a long-handed inserter, and that kind of sucks. But then there is an option for us to be doing something like this. And then go. Why is this one not producing anything, by the way? Because it can't output fast enough. Oh my god, that sucks. Another one. Another issue to deal with. Another thing that isn't fast enough. Sticks. More sticks. So they can actually get to the end here. No sticks. And then the idea would be this would now be the base one. Coming from the previous location. And this would have to be the limestone going up top. You don't belong here anymore. Because then I can use stack inserters for everything. Pretty sure I don't need a lot of stack inserters. Also pretty sure I don't need that many. So how much of the time is this one working? Kind of upgrade belts, correct. So once you get Mark II belts, stop using Mark 1. Maybe it isn't even necessary to do it like this, because it's really slow inbound, as far as I can see. Maybe. And this is because we don't have ratios. We have to guess so much. Right, so can it? No. It's a monumental difference. Absolutely insane. Wow. One stack inserter is enough. 4 long inserters, not enough. Again, just... Just kind of bothers me that I'd have to sort of lead the other one up. Output is full. Oh, right. Yeah. Just make sure that it keeps running. Yeah, so now it keeps running. Let's see if it can keep up. Or it can work away this backlog here. I think it can. It would also be nice to see this one actually flowing. There. It doesn't feel good. It feels clunky that it goes on the outside to go back on the inside. But this kind of feels okay. And it's now worked off this, so we just need one inserter here. Oh, here's another thing. Maybe we don't need to do this. No, we do. I was just thinking bring it out on the middle lane, but that's not a good idea. This has to be here. Okay, so what do we think about this build? I think you'd be hard pressed to call it better. It is so clunky that it has to go around and underneath. Oh, wow, I hate it. Yeah. I can't find another way to do it. Only other way would be making this into the plant fiber and then move these one over. Then get the kindle vine in here on this belt. No, they have to be opposite. No, then I don't. No. And yeah, it can't be outputting, long-handed outputting on the outside because it's going to output too much. All right, so I think this is going to be the new build. It's distinctly worse, but it's kind of has to be. Cool. So, delete all this. Take this out. That will need to be replaced over here. This. And this will be the output. So this is actually, it serves a little bit more than one purpose. And limestone goes on top. That's actually not going to be easier to do. It's easier to do it this way. There. This is kind of the thing you get used to with this, the belt mechanics. Like, which side is, where is it easier to start from? And this is definitely easier. Because once you go here, it really doesn't want to go up, stay on top. It want to merge down to the lower belt. So the answer is take these out, go up, and stay up, and merge over. And then it gets the rest of it done. That one. And that one. I'm just gonna feed it some stuff to get it going. Oh, right. I'm also missing some other things. Some input output. This is actually a little bit of a problem because it won't tell us anything now about ratios because I just screwed up the ratios basically permanently. Let's see. Yeah. And then the lights. Cool. If you needed it, you could sushi belt. No, I don't think so. Yeah, you can't sushi belt it because if I sushi belt it, then an inserter here that picks up from the belt will sometimes pick up the wrong things because there's no constraint on it. Factorio will not pick up something from a belt if it can't be inserted into the assembler, but Techtonica will. Interesting how you are running out of fuel. Okay, so it can't keep up with the fuel if it's working all the time. Interesting. And it also can't output, so over here, let's make sure that we can at least empty the belts. Yeah. This one needs to keep going. It'll take a little bit more than 2 inserters to clean up a belt. Is it gonna be balanced? I don't know. Kind of doesn't matter this part. And then we'll just get more lines in. Okay, I like it. Ish, right? So what are we doing here? We are now making some limestone. We have no idea how much limestone we make because I just fed it a lot of crap, so we don't know if it's actually going to be a full belt of limestone. But let's assume that it's a full belt of limestone. Then we can always just put something else in as well if we are yeah, we can always add more limestone. But let's ta-da! We have a full belt of limestone magically created for us to work with. Now, what do we want to do again? I have no idea. We need to mine a little bit of iron somewhere. Isn't there an iron mine? Yes, up here. Yes, the infusion, exactly. Oh, we probably need these as well. I think we actually have to pick up this crap here. Ah, we don't. We have what we need and we're not going to build that much more. That sucks because... yeah. Then I need to... miner. Must be built at Orvine. Requires electricity. That's the one thing I don't have here. Damn it. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to the starter base and grab some iron because we need a little bit of seed iron. That's over on this side. So one thing that we can say about this, like when I set it up very long time ago, it's just been working since then. So that's, for all its ups and downs and flaws and stuff, it's actually been working flawlessly, this part. And they're just gradually pushing further in. But also if you look at it, we're not really consuming much of the iron here. So we got some iron, 35. Don't know if that's enough, but we'll see. So now we need to not decide how it's going to be built, but just what needs to be built. It's something with limestone and iron becomes infused, which you can then thresh and then do something else with it. Okay, so I think we start with an assembler that can then make iron infused limestone, which is that was again. One coolant. How fast? And then this just needs to be threshed. Rethreshing. Since I can't put it out in one go, then we're going to start by just imagining that I'm going to have a build running by with limestone. Yes. That seems fair enough. And another build out here with the other crap. So, limestone, 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 the other crap. There. Hopefully that should be enough. Then we get outbound is not very much. It's just 2 infused. 2 iron ore to 2 infused. Good. That's just 1 in and then one in and then a belt in between. I really feel that this should just be a non-filtered outbound, which will also just be I don't think I like the filter output here either, or the unfiltered output. What are the ratios here? It was 5 to 2 for each one. Yes, 5 and 2, and it's pretty fast. So I'm thinking all of these will be outputting just the iron. Because basically want all the iron to go here and then refeed this, and then only the excess that comes out at the end will be our free iron. Right? So now we have iron being fed in here automatically. We have them coming in here, and then the only thing we don't have now is the limestone output from here, which will just merge into the closest belts. That is okay. I need an input, and I'm thinking the input should be here. And this should then be yes, there are 3 inputs, and we've already taken care of the 3 inputs. So all I need is an output here, and that goes then I can it's 5 and 2. So if it's only 4 of those outbound, Then 2 should be enough for the limestone. Which will then go. This will be. Actually, I think the belt has to go the other way. There. What works best, by merging it into the main line or by getting it in here first? I think that works best. But I could also merge it back in, just because. So that's kind of a module, isn't it? Let's try to hook it up and just see if it can work as a module. And then it's important to get that here, because it needs to be feeding that. And this will be outbound on limestone. And then this will be outbound on that one. And this will be recovery. Do you hear glitches with music as well, or is it just me? I don't know if it's my headset or the game. Let's see. Here. All of that. All of that. So what are we missing? There. And do we have enough inserters? Barely. Not just you. Okay, so it is the game glitching out. It's not the. It's not my headset. Okay, is this filling up? It is unable to put output fast enough here. That is just not a surprise, to be honest. This is the one I like the least. Yeah. It feels bad to use that. And I also kind of feel like, couldn't I use this for something? $29. Not fast enough. There we have it again. Looks like they're pretty much aligned. It's just that this can't get rid of it fast enough. Is there any way that we could make... Yes, there is. Then we just have to consider if it's too stupid. It's bad. Bad. Now at least it's at ratio 2 and 5, so probably not going to be able to keep up anyway, but it's still, it's getting empty at that ratio. Yeah, exactly. Now it's 5 to 2, which is the ratio in question. Or actually, if we look at it, it seems like we're building a pretty decent amount of this. Let's have a look at sort of the net. The net is this is outputting two of those. This one is, for each one, I get 5 iron and 2. So that would be 10 iron and 4. That means net I get plus 8 iron for minus 16 limestone, right? That means limestone is 2 to 1. And then, of course, we need some Shiverthorn coolant. So basically 2 limestone, 1 iron. And then it's self-sufficient. That would mean that if this one was, it isn't quite, making a full belt, which has a weird ratio thing, then I could also get I could get half a belt. For a full belt here, I could get half a belt of iron net output. That sounds pretty good. But how much would that be? Let's keep it rolling. Oh, look at that. We actually managed, with this setup, we actually managed to be able to get all of it. Here's another question. Is there a way that this could be combined somehow? No. I think this is the least bad option. Limestone. And that doesn't have a recipe. And long-handed inserter, which also seems to be able to keep up. And just a red inserter. And just a red inserter. And then all the blue ones. Turquoise. And that will be the output. I think 4 is too much. I think 2 is not enough. 3 maybe? That one goes here as well. Okay, so now all we need is love and filters. Love and filter inserters. And then I was considering one here. Don't know if I need it, but I think I'll just take one of those here. That makes sense. Good. All right, so now it's pushing forward. And what? Why are you not working? Oh, you're missing some seed material here. There. There you go. All right, keep going. There, I put here. You get started. Go. Output. And next one. Huh. So Also from this, we can see that here it's working faster and you don't get enough. So actually 2 is fine. This is as much as we can do. This will consume the entirety of that belt. Interesting. That kind of begs the question, would 1 thresher be enough for 2 of these? I guess we'll never know. Well, I guess we will know. We'll know when you come back from vacation. Great vacation. It's a very short vacation. 2-minute vacation, and then I'll be back here in 2 minutes. So see you back here in 2. All right, welcome back. So, thank you, the Factor Musculature, for a good AMA question. As always, you're very good at those. How could you please know in regard to stop to watching a series or movie? Series is pretty easy. If I don't really feel like starting the next episode, then I just don't start it. I feel no obligation. There has to be. I have to watch the next. I have to want to watch the next episode. If I have no desire for it, I can be into episode 7 of season 2, and then I don't care. It's just I only watch shows after my stream and when I'm alone while eating dinner. Those are the 2 times I ever watch shows. So I watch 1 episode after my stream just to sort of cool down, and also let my room cool down. And then it's just you go there and you're like, okay, am I part of a series that I enjoy, that I'm gonna keep watching, or if I sort of started the series, then I don't really care about this. I feel don't care, and then I just don't. I just stop watching it. Yeah, like I think there are a lot of examples. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna watch this series, this show, this episode, no, the season just to make sure that it rounded off, and then I might not come back for the next. No, I don't do that. It's every single episode has to sell me for the next one. The first 3 I like or don't. Oh, I don't. If I start watching a show, I will know within 10 minutes if I want to just keep watching. It has to be. I it's really hard sometimes to put it like put words to why. Of course, you will have like your intuitive feel of why you don't like it, but articulating what exactly is it that makes you not want to watch it. So I'm actually trying this, and um, I think that the essence of a show that I will want to watch and a show that I will not want to watch is whether there are stakes in the game in it. So no vegetarian. No, if there are, if there's something at stake, then I can work. And how do you mean that by that? Well, I don't care if the world is collapsing. If the superheroes who are at the center of it, I know that nothing's gonna happen to them. They're gonna be almost, and they're but nothing. Ultimately, nothing happens, and they'll beat back the demons slash warps slash aliens slash Nazis, whatever slash killer robots. I know that. Then I don't care. I just don't care. It can be, but even if you watch something and you know the good guys are gonna triumph in the end, then you don't know if what kind of journey they're on or if it's a drama show. Then it's about the characters, the world. It has to be believable. It has to be something where I can feel that it is coherent. That's why like Marvel movies and Marvel shows are the worst, because there's no internal consistency in those movies. Suddenly the Flash can travel back in time. Like, okay, well that kind of breaks the entire universe. Like, or they can travel, whoever can travel back in time. And then when the plot holes are so gigantic, then it just becomes completely irrelevant because there are no stakes. It doesn't matter if there's an alien invasion, because like if you want to travel back in time, you just travel back in time. If you want to have like a magical gizmo of world destruction, you just happen to find it. So there are no stakes. It doesn't matter. They can be the best characters, the best world, the best CGI. I don't give a shit, because if they need a gizmo of villain destruction, they'll just happen to find it just in the place, that last place they look 10 seconds before the bomb goes off. All of those cliches. Have I watched The Boys? Yes. Season 1, good. Season 2 suffers a lot from the part that no one's gonna get hurt. And season 3 is completely useless because it's just memes all over. It's 3 seasons. It's just, I like the essence of it. It's exactly the same as Heroes, like that good movie, the good TV show about heroes back in the days when we were not tired of superheroes. Um, First season was excellent because the heroes that you were introduced to, they died. They got munched by Sylar, and it was terrifying. And you didn't know who was next because it could be anyone. No one was safe, and you were just sitting at the edge of your seat. But once season 2 rolls over, no one can die anymore because they've already signed for all of season 2 and all of season 3. And we know they're going to be. And the same with the boys. Like, nothing's going to happen. It doesn't matter how many times they get killed and molested and just mauled and whatever. It's just like, whatever. They'll just take some compound V and then they'll be back on their feet. And it's just completely trivial. So the boys completely lost its all the things that made it cool in season 1 was lost in season 2 for me, because there are no stakes, and that's the reason why, for example, Star Trek is completely useless to me. I can't watch it because they break the universe time and time again in every episode, and then they conveniently forget about it for the next episode. So sometimes, yes, so some shows that I really like, for example, was like The Time Traveler's Wife. Then you start watching it, and there's something wrong, and there's something you want more, and you don't know what's going to happen, but you want to see how these characters sort of evolve and work together, and what's going to happen. And oh man, that's the stuff that I love when things are surprising, and when you just see the crew from The Boys. Hey, thank you, Factor Musculaggio. Thank you for gifting us up. It just yeah, this is also why I love Game of Thrones. Like, I had not read the books before I watched the first season. And yeah, I know I should have known the pedigree of Sean Bean, that he does not sort of have a good survival rate. But I was
Kind
surprised.
gesture.
Hey, Silver Sea Souls. Um, and yeah, so once you get past George R. R. Martin's part, then everyone survives all the time, and that's boring. Because now they are the main characters and they're the showrunners, and you're not gonna kill off Jon Snow, or if you're gonna kill him off, you just conveniently resurrect him in the next season. I'm like, yeah, so much for that idea that no one is safe, because clearly the ones who signed the contract are safe. Um, yeah, Babylon 5. Never watched it. It kind of sort of missed me. Um, yeah, so those are the kind of things where if I get that feeling, and you can get that feeling pretty quickly in a show, you can get it where you get the feeling like, okay, there's not just going to be like a magical gizmo that solves the plot in the 11th hour. Um, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. So I watch it. If it's interesting, if there's something like, okay, this is weird, I want to know more, because is he going to make it? Are they not? Who's going to survive? Are they going to solve this? What is the reason behind this? And sometimes you get woefully disappointed. Like, what is. There's one actor that I can never remember, and every time I have to remember his name, I have to go to IMDb and look up Whiplash. It's the bald guy from Whiplash, the drumming instructor from Whiplash. And I haven't watched Whiplash. It's just such a charismatic character. The one where he and his wife has a weird thing in the basement that goes to a different planet. That is a show that was like, it built up so much, and then it was like, yeah, J.K. Simmons, absolutely, J.K. Simmons, great actor. Uh, just kind of moved on from his days of being a drill instructor or something. I feel that's like what he would be typecast for. Um, and there was also another one that ran for like one season. I can't remember. Just recently, I don't. I think it might be on Apple TV, where there was a giant hole in the ground on a ranch somewhere. And the main character, I can't remember who the main character was, but that was a known act. Yeah, the one with Josh Brolin. Yes, exactly. I was like, who was the main character? Josh Brolin. Happens to me too often disappointed because they're trying to make it last longer. Yeah, it's so, like when it comes to shows, there's very often this tendency to have a great pitch, but not really move beyond the pitch. Like, okay, so I'm watching House. It's pretty. It it doesn't have something that can be resolved by the end of season one. So it's just like that sets up a scene like grumpy old brilliant doctor, new weird cases every week. All right, cool. That can run infinitely. But um, Prison Break, guy gets put in prison. His brother comes in and breaks him out. Awesome. What the hell are they gonna do in season two?
A kind gesture.
Thank you, HTTP 404. Thank you for the 250 bits. And like, if you Survivor, like stranded on a planet, have to escape. Okay, cool. What are they going to do in season two? And then it becomes really, really contrived to come up with some plot device for season two, three, four, five, six. But hey, people watch it, right? Um, for me, most recent example was Under the Dome. Oh, Under the Dome. I started watching that. I think that was one of those where I was like, that's silly. Mini Train? I don't know. Lost. I didn't watch it. And oh yeah, so when another thing that will completely turn me off to a show is when you start watching it and you go like, oh, okay, so here's the minority sidekick, and here's the, or like here's the funny black guy, and here's the smart Asian guy, and here's the quirky queer girl. Like, okay, wow, you just wrote cliches into it, and that is, I hate that. It is just, yeah, that when the characters become cliches and stereotypes, then it gets really annoying because then they become one dimensional. Very often they become one dimensional because it's like, you are your cliche, you're going to do what your cliche would do in this situation, and the writing just amounts to, this is not a person with thoughts and emotions and dreams and ambitions. This is a cliche that does what cliches do. Oh, the nerd, the jock, the like, and then I just, that is a telltale sign for me that it's not going to be a good show. Doesn't matter. For people who are into that, but I'm not. Yeah, sure. Um, yeah, and I can't remember. I think there was a show that came out, and it was like one of the. You see something, you go like, okay, okay, and then like introducing the next character. It's like, okay, so she's black, lesbian, like, okay, you just crammed in a lot of minorities just to tick the boxes, and like overacting and go like, okay, well, that's not a person, that's a checkbox in a checklist of, oh, make sure that we have representation. I think, no, no, that's, don't do that. Billions is a good series. I watched the first couple of seasons, and I think that suffered from not enough characters. There were simply too few characters to care about. Then it becomes a little bit stale, and a lot of shows suffer from this. That if you don't have enough characters introduced, there won't be any dynamics. Like the best case of that for me is Dexter. Dexter has a massive potential, but there's no characters in it. So every time, every season, there's a new character that gets introduced, and I go like, well, that's the bad guy. There we go. That's the only new character. There are so few characters. Breaking Bad also, to a large extent, suffers from that. Like, I like stuff that Vikings Valhalla. I'd want to watch it. But kind of missed it. But I don't know. It's, I love having like a lot of people, like The Expanse, like just a lot of people doing stuff that they would do. Like Avasarala, she's not a fucking cliche. she, like the only, like, they're a little bit of a cliche in the crew in the Expanse, but then they sort of evolve to be real characters. And I still think Naomi Nagata is super super boring. Um, the uh, I cannot remember James Holden. James Holden is deliberately bland because he's supposed to be bland. He is supposed to be like, oh, I'm just trying to just survive in this world, and I just follow my stupid beliefs and do stupid things, and like he's a paladin. Like he does stupid things because he has to do stupid things, right? Like it's, and that's fine, and it's good because he's the leader, and all the other ones have quirks, and it's cool. So yeah. So I love them when there's a large like gallery of characters. For example, Black Sails is also a good show. Like that as well. I saw a button, I pushed it. Jesus, do you really go through life like that? Oh, that's so good. Yeah, yeah. Black Sails is awesome. I love the idea, and this is, I might maybe ruining it, but so Black Sails, monstrous tale over many seasons that evolves into and just gets tied into so many things. It's super awesome, and it's all just a gay love story. That's so cool, and without being sort of, without it being the message, then it just becomes. I said it almost like the drinker did, right? Like, it's not the message. It just happens to be the plot device that everything revolves around, which is super fun. Like and it's like, yeah, it wasn't telling any story with it. It just happened to be the stuff that triggered all the events that sort of went downhill from there. And I love that. That's good storytelling because it's not sort of forced in. That's just a quirk. Saying it's not overly preachy. Yeah, it does. It's not added to sort of check a box or be preachy or the morale of the story is that this is bad or this is good or something. It's just like, well, it just happens to be the thing that the trigger event that set all the things in motion. And I love that. I love that kind of things. And it's so also, for example, like The Expanse, Kamina Drummer is at least bisexual. Don't know if she's, but she's at least bisexual, right? So, but that's not important. It's more of a we're people. We're on a ship. There's other people around. Stuff's gonna happen. It's there's no underlying point to it. There's no message. It's just that's just who he is, who she is, and that's the end of it, right? It's not a plot device. It's not a it's not a message. It's not like, ooh, how can we cram this message in here? And I love that. That's the way it should be, in my opinion. Yes, it will be should be like a should be representation, but not for the sake of it. So yeah, the like preacher where it's not profoundly atheist, but the main character wants to literally kick preacher. I can't remember preacher. Oh, okay. All right. I'm thinking this could be refined a little bit. So we'll cut this off. Oh, it's also run out, so that's kind of useless. Let's start. Still look at it from this perspective here. Into music or fail on music. I was thinking if I could make it this way, but I don't think I can. No. Okay, and so far so good. And then I need to bring stuff out, which kind of makes sense to put it out on this lane now. Yeah. And then this line will be the same as previously. And then we need one thresher. It's weird with the music that how it just messed up suddenly. Yeah, and then that goes in. Cool. Not good. These are obviously, these 5 are going to be, oops. And then could it be that one as well? But how am I going to bring it back? Maybe like this. Oops. Just need to go back. Merge in here. That's not going to work because this is before we take anything out. So yeah, I don't think this is going to be working entirely. I'm just curious about this part here. Input. And then still bad. It's weird. So these are the 5 that go in here with iron. Yes. Then I need one that just goes in. I knew it would do that. I knew it. Well, that doesn't matter. Just take it out. So, okay. So now I've kind of cleaned it up, and these 2 will now be output. Definitely try to grab stuff before. All right. This might not be the cleanest build, you think, but it. I want to see if it works. Yeah. Okay. It's really weird how the music is so messed up now. It didn't used to be like that. Isn't it weird? Good. Here it comes. There is only one way of playing Techtonica at this moment, so that's the way. So we're gonna have to wait for this one to completely saturate. Oh, you know what? Probably need to make sure that I get this one inbound as well. And this one inbound. Yes. Nope. And nope. I don't want filter inserters because they get stuck. There. So they can get rid of those. I need to make sure that this is actually always working. And that it doesn't get stuck on this belt. I don't think so, but it would also be... I wonder if this would be enough. No, it's not. It doesn't matter. This one will get stuck when it's overflowing, and then it'll let more pass by, I guess. Alright, so now the next part is this keeping up? Not really. But could it? Oh yeah, it is keeping up. 3? Barely. Ah, almost. But if it's a memory problem or something, maybe that's why. I don't know. Let's check the memory issue. 8.6. I don't know. Don't know if that's a lot. It was not like terrifyingly a lot. Well, is this a good build? Not really. Not really. I mean, obviously, I could take it. If I move it further, if I move this one further over here, then I wouldn't be able to get the iron into that one. Actually, I would. Because I'm going to get it also from the side as well. So maybe here. Yeah. And what now? Sweet. Yeah, this might not be enough. On the other hand, it probably is enough. Because that means there's only one place that can pick it up. That's the reason why I would be cautious. But on the other hand, there's only one input picking it up, and this one and that one is equally fast, so shouldn't that be fine? So what are we missing for it to work? There. Let's see. That should get us the iron inbound. Let's see if this one keeps up. 1, 2. Sweet. It works. Maybe it works better if I actually filter these correctly. There. And this is unable to keep up. Yes, very much unable to keep up. And you are not always working because you're sort of a little bit starved on limestone because it's going to be prioritizing in here. So that's okay as well. Unless, of course, I would bring this that way around. Then it wouldn't even have to go above anything. They would just go like this. This straight in here. That's better. Ever so slightly. I can also feel the latency in the game now. Like my I don't know how, but it's definitely something we can feel now. Yeah, I think this is better. The only thing is like if I could prevent it from going up, but that's not really possible. Nah. Okay, and are you keeping up for? Yeah, yeah, I think that makes sense because this will greedily steal everything it can from the bus, and then not a lot goes beyond, and the stuff then that goes beyond gets supplemented by stuff in here, which means these two are going to be more evenly building, which generally I think is better than having this one oversaturated and this one undersaturated, even though over time it'll balance out. Yeah, I think this is a good build, and it'll get us pretty much what we can get out of it. I think I'm going to be replacing the other one here. Like, deconstructing is getting a lot more difficult. Yeah. So a little cluster here that makes about half a belt and is consuming a full belt. What about you over here? You have now a good pile. Let's check. Okay, this is saturated here. This is... Are they starving? Not yet, but very soon. Is that because they're all synchronized or what? You're starving. Okay, so 6 is not enough. That's good to know because that's been running for a while, so we definitely know that for certain that it's not internal buffers or anything like that. Unfortunately, I ruined one of my paths, but right now we need to learn how the ratios are put together, and then once we've learned that, then I'll make a nice fancy YouTube video for that. And now I'm missing a little bit of this to make sure that everything gets saturated. 21, all of those are 1. Okay, let's see how far they go down. Hey, why do you keep eating this? Yep. So they're standing in idle position. I want them to be idling on all. There, 2 seats. Yeah, perfect. So I want 1 yellow in each. There you go. So it is now idle or sort of fully saturated. Sweet. They are different games. Is this game as good as Satisfactory Factorio? Nope. This is an early access game that was released 2 weeks ago by a couple of people. Satisfactory is 20 people, 5 years of development. They are not the same. Same with Factorio. That's 10 years of development. I don't know, 15 people. Rough numbers, right? So, but it's a good game. I'm having fun. It's very rough around the edges, but hey, every game in its early access stage is quite rough usually. Except Dyson Sphere was not rough. It was beautiful. It was just a little bit. It felt a little bit like you were stuck in a Chinese factory doing manual labor when you're building factories, and maybe that was intentional. But with blueprints and all that good stuff, then it became a completely different experience. Looks laggy with such few buildings. It's not few buildings. This is a pretty massive base. But yes, it is laggy right now. But you know, it's not my only factory. Like there's also a gigantic factory here that's humming. There are other factories, but you're right. It is a pretty low frame rate right now and pretty bad response. It is what it is. So I'm and the yeah, take that out. I think 4 here is the right number for this. Like, I don't think we can support more. This one is working pretty much all the time. Yeah. This one's working, but the fact that these are just almost always idle is just a little bit annoying. Okay, they're producing quickly. Pretty good. There's a known memory leak and sounds are overriding each other, causing it to get worse. Restarting may fix your issues. Thank you. We'll do that. Let's do that immediately. Unreal Leon, thank you for letting know. We'll give it a shot. Hope it helps. Me too. Or I will charge you for the time I spent restarting. Madness. Yes, indeed, it is madness. Bloop, bloop. Let's also just check on the memory part now. Task manager. It's probably still filling up. Filling up the RAM. We'll see when we get started. We'll get into the game to see if it's significantly different than what it was when we closed it. It's still filling up. This loading screen is taking quite a while. There. Ta-da! It's at now 5.6, 5.8. Okay, it's still increasing. 6. And it was at 8 point something, 8.9 or something when we closed it, so. Maybe there's a something. That is a remarkably small build for consuming a full line of... Hey, look at that. It's actually almost full. Almost. So, yeah. Now, this one now needs to be converted into other stuff. Let's see. I actually want I want this to be a not a hypertube, yeah, whatever it's called, a monorail. Valid placement. I want to build it here. There. I can build it. Funny how I cannot build it. Like, why does it skip so much? There. There we go. This now needs to 9 and 8. Like this. Why did it have to be exactly where I built that one? So far, sounds have not been messed up. That's good. So thank you, Unreal Leon. That's good advice. And at what point in the game did you stop to build? I'm struggling to find that point where it's time to build larger instead of moving constantly.
Our illustrious champion returns.
RPG Dinosaur Bob, thank you for the 14 months. Woohoo! 3 subs today. Woo! We're on a roll. That's 1 per hour. Great. At what point did I stop to build? Stop to build. Where it's time to build larger instead of moving constantly. I really don't understand what that question, what that means. Like, stop moving? I mean, you're not moving. Don't really understand what you mean. Like, I'm not moving anywhere. Don't understand what that means. Thank you for the Prime. Welcome. Brand new Prime sub. Welcome. What is that? Protected area. Why? Is it because of water? Yeah, I mean, instead of me guessing too much, then try to put a few more words on what you mean stop to build, because it's a build factory game, so you kind of build all the time. Okay, so maybe it's just that one that was protected. Kind of silly that I have it 4 wide when 3 wide is the right number. But means that the balance between building, expanding the factory versus exploration and recovery. All right, well let's say that it's that one. That's the question. But then the answer is incredibly simple. Every time I placed a thresher, I started hating the game, and then I just needed to go out and explore some stuff. You might be like, "Ha, no, it's true. That's how it is." So after some factory building, I just needed to do something else in the game because I just got angry with it by how frustrating it was. So it's kind of a nice, easy balance in terms of just you build a factory because you're like, okay, well, now I need a bus. Like the factories that I built was first we just built a little bit of iron and copper smelting. That was in Lima. Then when we got to Victor, I built a bus. So some dedicated iron, dedicated copper. Bring it in, build a bus that contains all the iron and copper products. Awesome. Expand it a little bit. Then the next one after that was making the blue balls, the blue spheres. Separate factory for that. Built it at the Lima. Then after that, the next factory was the Atlantum. Build a separate factory for that. After that, I decided to remake the entire bus, and then I built a factory for that. That's basically sort of the factories I built in this game. And now we're working on some other stuff. Yeah. One, two, three. Yep, nice, smooth. No. Fine. And then let's see, that's 1, 2, 3 from the side. Good night, Michael. I feel it's a little bit it's intuitive, but that's always easy to say when you intuit a solution. Oh, it still have a lot. Let's go like a little bit away and go 3 more, and then 2, 3. Okay, that's maybe definitely not good. Wow. Okay, so let's see if it's coming in. It's pretty quick now. This is plant matter fiber. Isn't that what it's called? Yeah. And then it's active. Okay, it's preparing to load. And whoosh. Whoop, that's gone. It works. That's great. That's the only thing we make here. And then the other thing we want to make is convert stuff to that. I can definitely see that you can build a lot of cool things here. Like, for example, this one is now requesting some Shiverthorn. So some Shiverthorn coolant. Then you'd have a dedicated factory making Shiverthorn coolant that you then basically have the factory, and then it goes out to a number of monorails, and then one monorail just goes over here because it's going to request a little bit. And then other one goes to the bus, and then do you dig out areas with the mole or with the mining charge? With the mole at this level, because 16 by 12 by 12. And you get that from the last tech here. Bowl 2. Cool. Or you can also get the 15 by 15. But 12 by 12 gives a nice height as well. I find that with the mining charges you can dig directional really quick. But removing space takes a while because you'll have all sorts of sort of different spikes in and small areas and stuff like that. So I just remove it with the mole, like this part here, just carving that area out. Cool. Save and take a break at the 11 o'clock break. Well, this is a functional factory. We are going to continue to make it also with some smelting. Once we have the smelting going, then we will be using it for, we'll be sending it out basically. Then we'll be sending the iron back. Then we have a iron build, we have this build. Then we can do the same thing for copper and lanthanum if you want to. And we can then make a shiverthorn coolant area as well. Like tons of cool things that you can do. Good, but first, a little break. So, be back in 2 minutes. Alright, welcome back for the final hour of today. And probably also the final hour of streaming of Techtonica. Why? Why the final hour of streaming Techtonica? For now at least. Until there's a new content update in maybe half a year or something. Because I kind of have done everything I can. And it's time to move on. Also, have interesting things on Wednesday where my next stream of Techtonica should be. That is Shapes 2. Can someone do the Shapes 2 command? We, if you remember a year ago or 2 years ago, maybe played Shapes, this very simplistic factory game that was just like combining shapes and stuff like that. There's a Shapes 2 in progress. I enjoyed it very much for its simplistic nature. But there's a new Shapes 2 in progress. It is scheduled for release next year sometime. But the developer, Tobias Springer, I think. Thank you, Tech, for the 24 months. Woohoo! 4 hours, 4 subs. Perfect. Then, yeah, contact me about just doing wanted to get some feedback. And wanted to sort of, I suppose, also build a little bit of hype about the game, sort of even though it's far away, just to sort of remind everyone that it exists, it's in progress, and keep your eyes on it and wishlist it on Steam as well. the condition is that if I play the game, I get access to play it, but I'm not allowed to keep the VODs online afterwards. It's a little bit annoying, but I understand it. The reason why is, this is my interpretation, is that if you build a new game and it's 1 year away from completion, then one video exists and there might be some placeholder art or something like that, and suddenly that's floating around and that becomes the video on not Techtonica, on Shapes 2 on YouTube, and people watch it and go like, that's a half-assed thing, and then the game progresses half a year or something, and looks completely different. Yet when people Google it, they get the old video with the old graphics and the old imbalanced stuff and the old placeholder art and all that stuff. And then it's kind of like, yeah, well, it's not really updated. This is not the game anymore. So it's a matter of, I've concluded, say, to that it's about controlling what is out there, so that we can get some feedback from my experience, from your experience watching it, and then they can use that. If it's good, they might use it for sort of putting it on Steam as watch someone play it. We'll see. So I think it's a pretty cool. Managing expectations, yes, because it is far away from release, and maybe they're in a state where, okay, this is actually, it's playable, but it's very limited. So choose someone that they hopefully trust, and I've had a really good dialogue about Shapes, the first one, so, and also been sort of keeping up and asking about progress and stuff like that on Shapes 2. So guess they sort of, he's interested in getting the feedback on from me and the community. Also, I mean, if you want to reach like a dedicated factory community, this is a pretty good place to get some feedback, I would say. That's a small improvement that just annoyed me. Yeah. Cool. So that makes sense, hopefully. This one also needs to be taken out for something. Yeah, and then then Thursday is a day off for me. And why? Hold on. Why is it a day off for me? Oh, right. I completely forgot. I'm playing board game once a month, dedicated one Thursday for board games. That's as much as I can reasonably commit. That's silly. Let's just keep it on top here. Don't even know where to put it. And that was going to be the Shivathon here. Great. I don't know. Take this out, because I don't want to stack it up here. Then it also becomes a little silly to do this, doesn't it? Yeah. And now I can do that one. I want to make sure that it doesn't stall. Isn't that a bad idea to do it this way? Because then it will pick up all of it all the time. There. No, that might actually be okay. Nope, it's not okay. Because it's not going to be a full list anyway. I have to make it as an overflow, and that's a little bit more complicated here. This is then going to be inbound, and out, out. We need to have more outs than ins, otherwise it's not going to work. Yeah. Yes. Okay, and then I think I'll kill this part. So here I can just get you just need smelters, I guess. Let's get that back. What? Why do they not go into locations now? There you go. Okay, let's think about it. This has to be... No, it doesn't actually matter much. I think that this is so fast that it's kind of ridiculous. And then... There. Let's make 4 of these. I think that'll be enough. And then we just need some fuel inbound, which I guess comes in on the last belt here. That is unfortunately not fast enough. That's this one. There's no way for me to get the fuel to be fast. Well, there is, if it's better fuel than it was before. So that one is going to need some fuel. And something like this. There's going to be a little bit of ag. I don't like this. There. All right. Let's have a look. Yeah, they're pretty much just consuming all of it. Okay. There we go. Get rid of that. And then we have this. This will now be also put on a hypertube. Still not a hypertube. that one. I don't know. It would be nice if I had some kind of logic to this or system to it. Like, where would I bring stuff in? Like, I might as well. This one should have been over on that side. It would be cool to just have it here and fly it straight down the middle. But we can also just... Is that cool bus you made in this game viable in Satisfactory? Nope. Satisfactory has too high quantity of items requirement, so that wouldn't make sense. Let's see. Also, there wouldn't be any point to doing it that way, right? Because in Satisfactory, you don't need a bus for every product. You need a bus. You don't need a bus. Like, what would you need the bus for? Like, that's the thing, right? Satisfactory is just different. Because Satisfactory, you have your production materials, and those are the ones you carry around. You carry around coils and heavy modular frames and stuff like that, which is what your main factories are building. And that's not how it works in Satisfactory. I guess you could sort of... The idea of it would be like, oh, I'm just going to have every item, and I'm just going to have one manufacturer doing heavy modular frames. I'm going to have one manufacturer doing computers. And then eventually I'll have something that'll be in a box, and then I can pick it up instead of having a dedicated computer factory. That might actually be an interesting enough like idea to hook it up to a bus build, just having like one of each thing, one machine doing each. Not really. Because then you get liquids and stuff like that. I don't know. And then you make stuff like reinforced iron frames, and you put it on a bus, and you then need to pull it out for modular frames. That's okay. Fine. Then you have to use the modular frame for heavy modular frames. Then your modest production of reinforced iron plates is kind of insignificant right now. Not enough to feed into the modular frames that feed into the heavy modular frames that feed into the fused modular frames, that kind of thing. And Satisfactory also has the same problem of not limiting output boxes, so yeah, it'll have the same problem. Just fill it up. I don't think so, Tip. Yeah, you're welcome. I just don't want to go through this. I don't know. Maybe I just have to bring this somewhere else. Can't really. I'm just wondering. Yeah, hello. You don't need to be here anymore. Let me try to aim down the middle here. That one. That should be fun. Good. And these are gonna be in here, ready for unload. Should be more. No? That's it? Not a lot. Keep going this. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. So, then I can now do Do I want to merge it on top of it? I don't know. And there's like different swap variation. There we go. Can that go on top of? No. It just means that they can go above. Ooh. Come on, you can do it. Yes. Not sure I want this, but now I do. And then go here and then swap variation. Why is that possible? I don't know. It felt like someone was knocking on the door, but it might just be a nosy cat. So I'm just check for a sec. I can't work anymore. Someone took my seat. Oh. Giant cat. Rah, big cat. 1 year tomorrow. 1 year tomorrow. This is not a little. This is a little kitty. This giant orange monster is just a little kitty. At least until tomorrow. You are living a little bit too comfortably, aren't you? I was hoping it would pick up the purring, but that doesn't really work. Purring is exactly the kind of noise that Noise Filter would take out. So it was a cat just triggering you. Yep. It was exactly like that. I got up, opened the door, it ran in, jumped onto my seat, and I was like, dude, that's mine. Yeah. Nah, not the keyboard. I'll kick him down. I don't know. This is probably too close to make it look good, isn't it? Yeah. I think I need to just leave a little bit of a light space here. Two, three. Rotate. Hey, that's the microphone. And then in there. Yeah. Instead of just positioning himself on my lap, he's positioning himself halfway on my lap, halfway sliding down. So it's gonna be like that's not super comfortable. Oh, hello. What's up with you? That's weird. How did that happen? That's weird. Is it full? Oh, it's full. It just filled up. Oops. So you're kind of just in a holding pattern. That's weird. I don't think that's how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna take them out, the ones that are next to it. All right, there was a question. Are you done with all the tiers? Yes, long ago. Long ago, several days ago. But yes, I am done with all the tiers. You can't. There's nothing up in the top right hand corner. I don't know. Actually, in our journal, do we even have anything left? There's the door of uselessness and scaling up threshers. 50 threshers, no way. 50 mining drills, nah. 200 assemblers. This one just keep going. So. And then the repairing the door of uselessness. We didn't need that, so. Okay, so. It's weird that this happened. I don't know why that happened. It's not on. Wow, it unloads immediately because I don't have any of the any of those. Where do I actually make those? Let me think. Back in my normal base. Okay. Oh, look at that. That one is done. Shivathon. Good. Probably just moving around in here. There we go. Grab that. You can remove the ones that are done or useless by right-clicking on them. That's exactly why you don't see them on the screen. What if I just aim it down here? It's probably fine. Structure probably better. Yes, good. Just need a little bit of difference here. Items to send. Oh, that's not working. There you go. You need a bit more of these. And I'm gonna unload all of my useless stuff here. And I might as well just take some of the other ones out. This one, 500 in here, 500 here, 200 there. Good. And now this goes... It is so weird why they just keep sending, but there's something weird about it. Okay, so this is going to be the location. So let me just get it to here. And then I'm going to go in. First I'm going to do the variation so it gets one higher. That will be on this line. It'll be like this. 1, 2, 3. Rotate. Right? That's going to be a nice corner. And are you kidding me? No matter what I do, it's always going to be in the way. So let's move it this way. Then that's going to be where the next one's going to be placed. And from here, we are... What? Oh, you're continuing on the same variation. Okay, so that's... Now we know. It doesn't default back to something else. Yeah, so that one will go there. It goes back down to normal height. And then it just kind of mirrors the other one. Yeah, except for the corners, because... 3. And then that goes to that one. One, two. Isn't that weird? Like, what's wrong with this one now? From here. 2. Yeah, but this, like, the idea of it facing backwards, it's... It's a little odd. Okay, so that should work. And then this is also just a gigantic mystery of why this one suddenly stops here. It's not even like it goes all the way in. It's big. Oh, no, I don't know. What if I take that out? Whoops. And then, right. Okay, so stop moving. Zip. Sweet. But it's still really weird. And here comes the other one. We got iron inbound. Sweet. So, received item. Yes, we still have... I just filled them up manually. But now we have them filled up automatically. With tubes. Or still not tubes. Monorails. Sweet. Monorails that are slightly off, it looks. Looks like it's slightly off here. It's slightly off. It's slightly off. No. The horror. And they have left-hand drive. And we can hitch a ride on these monorails. That's pretty cool. And we're going to be force feeding more of the iron ore that we built. Yeah. Oh, shit. I don't have time to mute the mic. I try, but I don't have time. So, what I said at the beginning, maybe not at the beginning, but at somewhat kind of the beginning, about like eventually we'll find something we like. And if we look at this and sort of look at what it's missing, then I think that if we wanted to just make it really clean, then we would have all of the stations on one side, and they would be bringing in and out the stuff, and then basically just all the inputs and outputs, and then the factory, and then take it from there. I'd like to do that. Then we'd have like an input of fuel, because we need it. And then we would have an input of the Shiverthorn coolant, yes, because we need it. And then we'd have the output of these plant matter frames, and we'd have an output of our iron ingots. So it can definitely be built in a more structured way, and I'll try to see what I can do for my YouTube episode for this, because I'm gonna make a YouTube episode because I think this is an essential build. That once you get that to the late game, then basically saying we get almost one line of limestone here, and we get a lot of plant matter, and the plant matter and limestone gets converted. Well, the plant matter just yay, the limestone gets converted 2-to-1 into iron ore, and then converted 2-to-1 again into iron ingots. That's just free materials. There's no, the only cost to it is biomass, which is free, and Shiverthorn, which is free. So it is basically free materials here, at the cost of some frames and frustration. Yeah. What about this? Now there are 10 of these. Is that keeping up? No, it's not actually keeping up yet. So I guess 12 is the right number. Because it doesn't keep up with here. Well, it doesn't matter because this one's empty. I'll just accept that this is going to be less pretty now. Nope. And that is 9. And here. One thing that's nice that I haven't even been sort of considering too much is the fact that there are no input and output slots. There are just slots. So it's not predetermined which inputs and outputs are of the factory. You can choose that yourself, which is nice. But fast inserters, absolutely. Some kind of upgrades to make fast inserters, or just get them to be faster. Because there's no real, there's not much. Okay, the build and speed actually match really well. The red, I don't even know if it does. Like, you need a lot of red inserters to fill up a belt. So, okay, this is what I wanted to do today, and I can also just calmly say that yeah, not really so much engagement anymore on these streams. It's a nice little sort of casual viewership here. Well, that's much appreciated. Yeah, that's replacing and getting more power. But I don't think it makes so much sense for me to continue. So might as well, if this is this game is a little bit dead from engagement perspective, then I might as well do something that I know is dead and then just being silly and fun to play. So that's why next planned stream for Techtonica was Friday. That's been redistributed to play a 20-year-old game, 25-year-old game. So we're going to be playing some StarCraft. So I'm going to be playing the entire StarCraft campaign starting on Friday. just starting from first Terran mission, working our way through all the mission. Nope, StarCraft, not StarCraft 2. If I wanted to play StarCraft 2, I would have said playing StarCraft 2. So, nope, it's StarCraft. And then you're going to ask, is it Brood War? Then I'm going to say, nope. If I wanted to play Brood War, I would have said Brood War. It's going to be StarCraft. So we'll play StarCraft. I will play all the missions for Terran, Zerg, and Protoss. And if that's fun, we're done with that at some point, then we might continue to play the Brood War campaign. And after that, we could play the StarCraft, but I don't think so. Maybe learn the thing about the SC2. SC, yeah, maybe. I think it's just going to be fun. So no obligations, no nothing. Just a fun little thing that we've been talking about for a while, and we're kind of between games. Techtonica has run its course, and Desync is not here yet, so I only know the pylon construction meme. Well, and the whole idea of circing something is when you hear when you hear retired army generals from the US describing the Russian tactics as circing, then you just know that, like, okay, circing is now officially a military tactic. Yeah. Yeah, then things have sort of moved from gaming to the real world. I like those kind of things where you know where some expression and meme come from, and they go like, ha, you don't even know what that means. You don't even know the backstory from for this. So yeah, so that is that's going to be the next thing. And of course, remember on Wednesday for the Shapes, if you can only attend one stream for the week, then that make it the Shapes 2 stream so that you get to see it, because you can't watch the VOD afterwards. So I'm going to be wrapping up now because, well, there isn't really a whole lot more things to do. So we'll take a little bit of an early night, a bit tired, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow maybe for some Satisfactory, I hope. So thank you very much for joining. Hope to see you tomorrow. Good night and stay effective.